Well, hello everybody. We are hanging out. We're starting just about a minute early, and I wanted to give everybody a chance to log on. So while everybody's logging on, thank you so much for joining me. I'm k.m. Robinson, author of Golden, and I'm the creator of k.m. Robinson Photography and Reading Transforms, and I wanted to hop on today and show you something that the book world does not get to see very much, and that is a live book cover designing. So I'm a professional fine arts photographer. I'm also a professional designer, and I'm an author, and I work in the publishing industry. So I kind of wanted to combine everything and show you the behind the scenes of how we actually create book covers. So I have worked on book covers. I was able to design my own book cover because I'm a professional, and I just thought it would be fun to kind of share the behind the scenes of my fine arts photography and then turn it into a book cover for you. So we're giving it just a minute for everybody to get logged on, and I figure while we're doing that, I will just kind of talk through my gear a little bit. So today, we're going to be using Photoshop. I am using Creative Cloud, so it is the most updated version of it. Totally love it. It's cheap enough to do that monthly plan, which I love. Highly recommend it. If you can learn to do Photoshop, it is so much better than anything else out there. You got to take advantage of it. I know there are some people who don't necessarily understand how Photoshop works, like all of the amazing, incredible things inside of Photoshop. So they will say other things are similar to it. Maybe they are in some circumstances, but there's so much more you can do here. So highly recommend Photoshop. There's a steep learning curve. So you try and it kind of destroys your soul. Don't worry. You will get there. You just got to learn a little bit. It takes a little bit of time, but once you have it figured out, there's so much freedom in it. You got to do it. So I am using Photoshop today. I am using photo shoots that I have done myself. So these are k.m. Robinson Photography photo shoots. I own all of the rights to these images. These were all created by me. I think the images I'm using are all of me because I do a lot of self-portrait work, but I do have all of the model releases for any of my models. So everything I show you, totally good to use. I'm also going to be using my Wacom tablet, which is attached, so I can't do too much with it, but here's my tablet. That is what I edit with. It's got a nice little pen with it, so it lays flat on the table, and then you actually draw on it, and you see it on your screen. So the tablet is off to my side here. By my hand where I write, and I treat it just like a pad of paper or something, and I can move this around and it reacts on the screen. It's literally just like a mouse. It's a little freaky to use the first time that you try using it, but it is the best thing in the world. I use it all the time. I recommend it to everyone, even people who are not professional designers or photographers. I highly recommend it for authors. So if you're an author hanging out with me, you need to get one of these. This saves your life and your wrists and everything. It's amazing. So today, we are totally going to create a book cover together. I am going to, as I'm seeing people jump on, I am going to, hi Sophie, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the images that I pulled. We've already taken some polls and we've talked to some people, and we have overwhelmingly said we want to use a dark, villainous image. So we are going very dark, very fantasy with this. So I pulled, I think, 26 photos that we can pull from. And you guys get to help me choose which one we're going to use, and we're going to pick the world that we're going to create around it. We're going to do some amazing things. So I'm really excited for it. It's going to be awesome. If you're just joining me, chat room is on the right side of your screen. Feel free to talk to me at any time. We are on about a 10-second lag, and I'm getting a message that someone can't get in. Hang on 1 second, guys. I got to get a link for somebody. I am going to grab a link for Connie. She's going to come join us in just a second. And then I'm going to show you, but jump into the chat box. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and why you're so excited for right now. As I grab the link, I'm grabbing the link very slowly. Sorry, guys. And pasting that in for Connie so she can come and join us. There we go. Connie's coming. Okay, there we go. Fantastic. Are you... Sophie, when you request, that means you actually want to be on screen with me. If I clicked on that, that would turn on your webcam and you would come hang out with me. Just so you're aware. Chat box is on the right, though. You can go ahead and type in your message and hit the enter button, and it'll pop it up in the screen for me to see, and I will be monitoring this. You can help me choose. So here is what we are going to be doing. I'm going to switch over to screen share, and I'm going to scroll through all these images. Look at these. We're going to go through them twice. And then we're going to vote on which one I'm going to use. So here we go. I'm going to switch over to my screen. You will not be able to see me, but you will be able to see my screen. I'm looking for this one. I'm going to click OK. these are some images that I created of photo shoots that I did in the last year or two. Here we've got a sword and a cape, and you can see these are straight from the photo shoot, so we're going to change this an awful lot. Now, with that one, I thought that was really cool to kind of pair with this one, as if she were attacking her with the sword, and then she's bending over. I thought that was kind of cool. We've got a lot with the sword. I'm very big on fantasy and capes and all of that, and oh, my computer stalled. Hang tight. Hang tight. I got the color wheel of death over here. There we go. This one would be really awesome for a levitation. I thought that would be kind of cool. Oh, my computer. There we go. More with the capes, because I absolutely love my capes. I went with capes for villains because it kind of looks that dark fantasy look. And then we've got the hair all over the place. This is actually the same location I shot the golden cover and the same type of thing. So we've got kind of like an evil queen here. This one almost looks a little magical, a little fantasy-like. As you can see, I own a billion different capes, and I like to use them in my photo shoots. You can see this is straight from my photo shoot because my flip-flops are still in the image, and I will edit those out later on. That's an up-close one I thought might be kind of cool. That one's a little dark looking. I'm kind of excited about that one. And then we've got this darker cape. We've got some really cool things going on here. This one I love. I thought that looked a little dangerous and scary. And that is the end of the 26. So let me bounce back up to the top here and type into the side what you would like to see. Let me know which of these you like. I have a couple that I'm thinking I really like, but I want to know what you are thinking, and we will create this together. I love that one. I've got super long hair, and I like to whip it around. It's kind of fun. I'm loving this with the sword there. Froze on me. There we go. The dark cape here. Oh, you know what? If you are on the if you're on a phone or a tablet, the chat box might be underneath this screen. If you're having trouble finding that chat box, it might be under our screen. All right, so give me a shout out. Which of these images do you want to see? Hi, Connie. Okay, Connie, tell me what you want to see. Which one? There was a whole bunch of them. I'm going to go through it one more time. So we've got the series with the knife up here. And the cape. This one I thought would be really cool with this actually next one. So it's got the girl bent over because the other girl's attacking her with a sword, which I thought was really cool. Something like a levitation with this one. And remember, I am taking these out, so this is not the same background that we're going to have in most cases. I am going to probably build a world around them. We're going to do some really cool things. This one's kind of magical looking. I am on about a 10-second delay from you guys, so I'm kind of stalling until I hear from you. We've got the red cape here. And you'll be surprised what I do to these once you see what we're doing, what I'm going with. I will be changing things because it's kind of fun to do that. I love this one. It's like very dark and dangerous Red Riding Hood. I'm getting messages from people. Okay, sounds good. Getting messages from people through Facebook. That's cool. All right, what do we want? Let's see. The Evil Queen. They're all Evil Queens. Evil Queen. Okay, let me see if I can figure out which one the Evil Queen is, because there's a bunch. Let me see. We've got the swords. We've got this one. This one are we talking about, Connie? Evil Queen. Or maybe we're talking about this one. She's got a crown on her head. Fun fact, this crown was actually one of several I made for a photo shoot for a book cover about a year or two ago. So it's making its way back to the book cover. Let's see. I think maybe we'll We'll go with this one, I think. I'm not hearing too terribly much from people. So let me drop this over into Photoshop and we will get started with this. All right, so I have to change my screen. And I'm going to put on my other screen share. Just stick with me for a second, guys. I know it's kind of in that weird thing here. What's happening? Uh-oh. Hang on. Hang on. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. I need you to cooperate, computer. I need to screen share. And there we go. That's the one I'm looking for. This is a terrifying place to be if you do not know how to use it. We were not hanging out with somebody who does know how to use it. So we are going to make that bigger there so that we can see. Actually, we're going to make it that. I'm so sorry, I forgot to unplug my phone. Hang on, guys. I'm going to unplug that. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I usually forget to unplug the phone. That happens. Okay, here we go. So we are on the inside of Photoshop. We've got a lot of stuff we're going to be doing here. And the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of those flip-flops. So when I go out and I do self-portrait photo shoots, as long as it's not too cold out, I wear flip-flops because I do not like having shoes in my imagery. And I'm going to take all of that out and take out all the stuff that I don't necessarily want. So I'm looking at the background and I'm taking things out. And I usually don't worry too much about backgrounds if I know I'm using it for a fine arts image. So if I'm doing just a portrait shoot, I'm very, very attentive as to what is in my background. But if I am doing just a shoot that is going to be a fine arts image, then I don't worry so much because I can clean it up and post if I need to. Okay, so there we go. We've got a basic cleanup. And the first thing I'm going to do is actually make this bigger. And I'm going to do a little bit of research. I have not touched this photo, not done anything about it, other than put it in a file for you guys to see. So now I'm just doing a little basic retouching, just so it's a little bit cleaner. Oops, wrong button. I know. I'm going to lighten up some of these shadows under the model's eyes here, just because we don't want it super dark. We want it a little bit lighter. We do leave everything that is natural on a person. So if they have a blemish, we'll remove that. If they have a birthmark, we won't do that unless they specifically ask us to or there's a reason to. We leave people looking pretty much the way that they look naturally. So anything that's not on them 24/7, we can remove. So any blemishes or anything like that, if there's shadows, we can fix that up. And I'm just going to glance at the cape. And I'm going to tweak that just a little bit, just because there's some things I don't necessarily like as much. Probably take away this line here just a little bit so it looks more like a dress. This is actually a belly dancing skirt over top of a dress, so I kind of blended it in there. You can see that there's lines and things, and I'm actually going to go in and tweak this a little bit later. I'm probably going to change the color a little bit, but I am going to take a look and see how we are doing. Everybody doing okay? Sound off in the comments. Let me know what's up. Tell me what you would like to see me do. Now, this is something that I create as a fine arts image first, and then I'm going to move it over to the book cover. So you're going to see me do the overall image first, and then I will take it and put it into book form. So what should we add? Should we give her some mountains? Is she walking away from something? Is she walking away from like a village burning? Is she going through snow? Is she walking away from the ocean? Ooh, wouldn't that be cool? Oh, do you guys like that? What do you think? Sound off in the comments. Do you like the ocean idea? I am going to see if I have an ocean thing that's going to work. So I'm actually looking through my photos. These are my personal photos that I've taken. And I'm going to see if there's anything that's going to work for a really good ocean line in that background, because I think that'd be awesome. But I'm still waiting. Sound off. Let me know what you think. We are on that slight delay. Gosh, where is it within my files? I have an external hard drive hooked up to this, and I am looking for my, there we go, for my ocean pictures. Yep, that's gonna work for me. That's cool. Okay. I am going through them right now so that we can kind of see what we're looking at. Let me drop this in here and kind of what we can do. Check that out. We've got this really cool ocean image, and we can kind of see where she would be walking over that. I can resize her, but I think I like this. I think that might work for me. So let's do this, but then we're going to get a little creative with it, and we're going to take it really dark. So I'm just going to pause for a second, and I'm going to check out the chat room and see how everything is going with you guys. Go ahead and sound off and let me know what you're up to, what you're doing, and if you are liking the direction that this is going in. Okay, so at this point, I am going to go ahead and highlight my model here, and that actually worked way easier than it usually does. Usually it takes a lot more to get a line that refined, but I am going to run with it. It's going to be awesome. So let me duplicate this and put a layer mask on that, and then drag that up here. And we have just added her to the water. Now, she is not the appropriate size, and that is not where my focus is. So I'm looking in my image to see where my focus is within the image. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to look at where I have my focus. Right here, it's out of focus. I actually don't know if you can see my my arrow. Let me see. Can you guys see the arrow with me? I don't think you can. Sorry. So down at the bottom with the sand, that is not in focus. It is not in focus at all. It looks like the focus is falling right on this bit of water here. Yep, that's right about where I have my focus. So let me put my model back in here, and you can see the line's not so awesome. So I have to go in, and I'm going to fix that in a little bit. We're going to size her down appropriately. And we're like here, and then see what we've got. Zoom that in a little bit. And if you take a look here, we've actually got some footprints, so that kind of gives you an idea of what size she should be. And I'm actually thinking I might scale her down even just a little bit more. There we go. Now let me pull it back in just to double check that. Maybe just a touch bigger, I'm thinking. There we go. Okay, that's fantastic. So now I'm going to move in closely, and I'm going to refine that line around her. So I'm just going to soften that up so that it actually looks like she belongs in this image, and I do need to go a little bit bigger on that just so that I can see. And my opacity is down. I got to bring that up. So with a nice soft brush, I'm just going in at a very small size, and I am refining my edge here. Because when you take an image from one image and put it in another, you actually need it to blend in so it looks like it's there so that it's believable. Now, if you look at a lot of book covers, they actually don't do this very well. And you can tell that something has been superimposed, and we do not like that. That is one to encourage. So we are working on that. We're going to come back to the top there. I'm going to make sure that there's no rim around it, no highlights, because that is in the way. Now, as you can see, we've got some very bright spots back here. We're going to work on those. Like I said, we do want to make this look villainous. Right now, this is kind of nice and peaceful and beautiful, but it won't be when I am done. So we are going to fix this up. Now, as you can see, we've got some grass going on here. Don't necessarily want that grass. So I'm going to lower my opacity and just go over that so you can kind of start to see the sand through that part of the skirt. And I'm going to do that over here too, so that it blends in more. And then I'm going to go back, blend in the feet there so it's kind of in the sand. I'm going to raise up my opacity and continue blending in my edge. Get rid of all that green grass halo that's hanging out there. So we definitely don't need that. And then we're going to go back and we're going to blend this in even more once we have finalized some of our coloring. And there's also some little tricks I'm going to show you that save you a little bit of time if you're doing something like this. So we're just going to sweep right up to the side here. And I want you to tell me, how dark am I taking this? Are we going like full out evil villain, the queen is coming, run and hide? Or are we kind of going, oh, this could get dark, but we're not sure? Tell me what we are going to be doing. Oops, I added in a little bit of grass up there on the water. That was not good, so I took that out. And we're just going to, whoops, sorry. I am using my editing tablet, and I discovered earlier today that I actually need to update that because it's getting a little glitchy on me. So if it glitches out, that's all it is. I apologize. Okay. So there we go. We've got a pretty decent look here. Back there. Now the next thing I'm noticing is we've got this foam here. We definitely don't want that weird line under our model. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And we're just going to blend that in. There we go. Okay. I like it. All right, so now we are going to have to deal with our coloring. We're going to have to deal with our lighting because, as you can see, we kind of have some directionality going on with our light. So the light's kind of back on this side, but my light is over here. So what I can do is either flip my background or I can flip my model. And I'm thinking, gosh, I'm almost thinking I want to try to flip my model. So I am going to flip that. Oh yeah, that's better. And then I might even drag her over here. Let's put her right there. Oh, I like that. That's cool looking. Okay. So we're going to leave that just like that. I'm actually going to change up a little bit of the foam here. Just a little bit. There we go. That's good. And then I'm going to pull this in a little bit tighter, and we're going to take a look at this one more time just to make sure it still looks like decent. I'm going to play with that skirt just a little bit, lower my opacity right there, and pull that in just like that. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm going to pause and check in with you guys in the chat box. Could be evil, but not sure. Yep, Sophie, we are going to turn this evil. So we are going to go not too terribly dark, because that's what Sophie's saying. We don't want to go possibly evil, but possibly not. We're not really sure. So we're going to take these dark tones down. I'm totally loving the light here because it's coming out of that sun. I wish you could see my arrow here. I just realized you can't see that. Let me show you like this. With this, we've got this gorgeous, and I'm going to use a color red. We've got the gorgeous sun right here. Oops, that's a low opacity. We've got this gorgeous sun right here, and it's directionally coming right here. It's coming out here. It's coming and hitting her face right here. How gorgeous is that? I love that. That's fantastic. So now we're going to take it dark, or kind of dark, and I think what we're going to do is play up some of these colors. So we've got a lot of blue tones here. I'm almost thinking that I want to take it to a little bit more of a yellowish hue. So I'm going to go into my curves channel. I'm going to go down to blue, and I'm going to drag this down toward the yellow. I might tweak that a little bit. But you can kind of see how that's going. I'm going to grab a layer where I'm actually going to do some dodging and burning because I really want to darken this down. So let me darken down these clouds. Oh, wow, you guys. Check that out. Check out how deep and dark that just made it. That is so cool looking. Oh, I love that. I'm going to get a different layer and do sand dark here. And I'm going to darken this down so we've got some dark shadows here. Oh, I love this. I love this. Now, the other thing is because we have this strong lighting coming in here, and right now we have popped our model on there, but she is still out of place, and that is because anything in between the light and the lens is going to be darker in between, and she does not have a shadow right now. So we actually have to create a shadow for her. So I'm going to spell that correctly and create a layer called shadow. And I'm going to do some dodging and burning here. And we're going to give her a little bit of a shadow. And this is actually going to come down underneath her, just like this. And we are creating this ominous shadow, her walking away from the water. So right now, jump in the chat box, tell me what you're seeing, because my picture right here is that this evil mermaid or a siren or some kind of sea witch has just crawled out of the ocean, and she is coming to take away the Little Mermaid's happiness. So tell me, who is this character? I want you to start thinking about title ideas, because we're going to give this book a title. I want you to start thinking about taglines and a basic storyline behind what we are working on right now, so that we can kind of use that to direct how we are doing this. Hey, Freedom. Oh, Freedom, you're joining us. I'm so glad. I'm just pausing right now, guys, to take a look at the chat box. Connie's back. Yeah. The sea is so brooding. Yes, it is. Very ominous and atmospheric. Oh, I couldn't talk today. Okay, now she's not levitating. Yep, that's because I added that shadow in there. Right? That really grounds it. So you got to be careful. You have to be so aware of lighting within your. A lot of book cover artists are not familiar with lighting and proper lighting. And so it really makes a difference in a book cover. So we have darkened this down a little bit. I almost feel like I'm going to play with some of these colors. So what do you guys think? Should I play with the colors a little bit? She's looking like a siren to me. Yes, Sophie, yes. Okay, let me see. Now, like I said, for those of you that jumped on late, I create my fine arts image first, and then I put it in book cover format. So and I'm going to switch this over real quick. I've got the book cover layout. Those blue lines are guidelines. We're going to pop it into it as soon as we're done editing this. For now, we're going to create the main image, because that can be used for all sorts of amazing things. And if you do it directly on that book cover layer, it's going to be a smaller resolution. That's not going to help us. So I am going to darken this down even more. I like to darken things down a lot. I'm known within my fine arts imagery for a couple of different things. I am known for movement. I am known for my fairy tale look to all of my images, and I am known for, sorry, I'm distracted. I am known for my manipulation of light. I'm all about that dark light and bright light. It's amazing what we can do with light. Oh, that was pretty. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. With this, I am thinking I want to try fog. What do you guys think? Should we do some fog? There are a couple of different ways to do fog. I do have one that I think is going to be helpful to me. I'm actually going to look that up real quick. I can make fog myself, or I can use an overlay that I have. I'm going to test the overlay, because I think that might look cool with the particular way that it is stretched. There we go. This is the one I want. And I'm just waiting for that to pull up for me. And here we go. There we go. Okay. Get the right screen, and let's drag and drop this baby. Now this is a really cool thing. It looks a little strange to you, doesn't it? With the black background there. It kind of takes over the thing, but what I have to do is change the blend level. And there we go. It's gone. Pretty cool, right? So I can do something like that. I'm actually not sure if I'm feeling that. I think what I'm going to do is pop that into a folder and just take that off for a second. And then I'm going to see about making my own fog. And I almost think I'm going to want to draw this fog in from the ocean itself. So we're going to do a little bit back here, a little here. And I know this looks a little strange to you. It's because I have to change my opacity. We're bringing that in there. And then I'm going to add another level or another layer. I didn't name my last one. Sorry. I usually name it for you guys. But when I work for myself, I just have layers after layers after layers. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about this fog? Let me know what you're thinking about the fog. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Not so great with words today. Fog is always great. Makes the freedom. You and me both. We're not having the best time with words today. Yeah, fog is always good. I do like fog. I'm not sure I like it in this case, though. What do you guys think? Let me know. Maybe we'll keep it. Maybe. Ooh, I actually have an idea. Yeah, let's keep it for the moment. Okay, so I want to play with the light. I'm a huge fan of playing with light, and I am going to mess with that just a touch. So I want to, what I just did was I picked up the color. So I grabbed a tool for color picking up, and I tapped on it, and it got me that color. I'm going to add a layer here, and we're just going to kind of see what happens with this. So at this point, I kind of want to draw some light on, and let me see. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to get in nice and close. And as you can see, I'm kind of drawing on the cube just a little bit, kind of where light touches. We're just drawing a little bit of this on. And then I'm going to take it off. It's not all going to stay there. And I definitely went out of the lines a little bit. So we're just going to play with some of that. And I'm going to take it off the outside there. And I'm going to bring this down even further. We just want a little bit of a color cast on her to make it look like she's actually part of this scene. So we're putting just a little bit on the hood there. Just a little bit on her skin tone. Then I'm going to get it off of my water. I can actually go in and do a little bit more on that water because there's definitely some coloring within the water and within the light if we look over to the right side of the screen there. But it doesn't always translate everywhere. So we just kind of add it in where necessary. We have that light touching different pieces. Let's see. I'm gonna add in a little bit here, and a little bit. Actually, I didn't like it right there. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna bring my opacity down on my brush there. That's a little bit better. Okay. Wow, look at that. That is interesting. Okay, so then my next thing is the fact that we've got this blue color here, this bluish green. And I don't know if I'm really feeling that. So let's play with that just a little bit. What colors are we thinking might look cool to kind of be very ominous? Title idea of Sea and Shambles. Oh, I like that, Connie. Gosh, it makes me want to go find an image of like tangled sea nets and seaweed and just like something that would wash up off of a shipwreck onto the beach. Gosh, if I had that, I would so add that to this image, but I don't have it on hand. I could probably find one in a royalty-free image site, but I'm not going to take the time to go look right now. Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, we're going to play with the sky a little bit. Let me add a new layer here, and let's play with that. I am almost thinking, let me try that orange color first. That might be something that's kind of cool. So right now I am painting over with that orange color, and I am going to change my blend level, and we're going to try that first. That I knew that wasn't going to work. There we go. And we'll pull that down. And that gives it kind of a yellowy look. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me try taking the blue out altogether. So I'm going to use a different color. And we're going to change that. And then pull that down. Nope, don't like that either. So in that case, I am going to play with my selected color, which is down at the bottom, of course. And go to my cyan channel. And I'm kind of bringing the blue out here. Looks like that actually might be more on the blue spectrum than the cyan spectrum. Okay. We'll pull that down. And we'll play with our yellows a little bit. Play with our cyans and magenta. And nope, it's just not cooperating with me today. So actually, let me just... Yeah, that didn't help me much. So let me, in that case, clean this up just a touch. And we are going to go into our curves level. Curves is an interesting thing within Photoshop. Until you know how to use it, it's just like straight up weird. So I can really change that coloring. I can do all sorts of weird things. Pull it really hard into that yellow spectrum there. Kind of almost want my reds. That's actually not bad. And then I'll clean that up a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to check my chat box. How are we doing? You think it'd be a different title if it doesn't work? Oh no, it totally works. I love it. I just wanted to add it because it sounded really cool with it. In fact, I'm picturing this really cool title, Connie, with those words, like how I would design it if I had time to design a custom font for this, because that would be awesome. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rough this up a little bit. So right now it's very clean, very bright colored, and I really want to ground this a little bit more. So I am going to pull up an overlay that I'm going to be using to really ground this. I like to do overlays and textures a lot on my imagery because it does ground it. And I'm going to move this over so I don't lose that. And stretch that to fill this. This is a really interesting process right here because I'm doing something that I don't typically do with this. And I'm going to be using a blend layer, or we're going to change it. It's all good. I can't use my words today. Oh, okay. Okay, let's talk about that. Look at that. It's amazing. Do you guys love this? I'm just going to pause for a second. Tell me if you like this. Jump into those comments and let me know. I'm going to tweak this just a touch while I'm waiting to hear from you. I'm just taking it off of certain areas. Right now, what this has done is it's grounded it. It's really brought things together, but it's also added a bit of a matte finish to it, which is cool. I like doing matte finishes on certain things. Nope, didn't like that. I'm going to bring my brush size down. Let me know what you're thinking. Okay. A Conjuring of Sea for a title idea. Oh, I like that. I think the cloak should be more saturated, just a bit. Very witchy Connie, like sea witches. I could be biased, but you know. Guys, for those of you who don't know Frida Matthews, she writes about pirates. It's really cool. All right, so let me see. I am, because I can and because I want to, I'm going to play with this because I am a fan of changing things. Actually, how do I want to do this? I might actually want to do something different. I've taken this from a photo shoot where I've actually used some of these images before, and so I like to make things look a little bit different. So right now I'm just kind of highlighting little pieces of this cloak, and I may just do some color changing here. So let's see what we got. Don't be like that. Ooh. Oh, gosh, you guys. Look how cool that looks. So we've got whoops, I gotta raise my thing up here. We've got almost like this purplish color, which I love. I know I'm going outside the lines. It's okay. I'm gonna fix it in a minute. But we're just gonna kind of lay that up just a little bit. I'm just gonna see how this kind of goes. Change the skirt color too, I'm thinking. Maybe not skirt color. And then we're actually going to go back in and refine that edge, fix some of this up, and then change it just a little bit more. Sometimes I get quiet while I work. Other times I babble so that you know what I'm doing. I'm just refining the edge right now, and I'm actually going to pull that back just a bit. I don't know. Sometimes I try things and I'm like, yes, this is amazing. This is going to work. And then I look at it and I say, no, it really didn't. Why did you do that? So we take back some of the color and we reduce some of the nonsense. And we pull it back. And sometimes we scrap it all together and we try new things. Most of you understand me. At least 2 of you are authors, so you get how that works. We take that back just a little bit up there. I'm going to check my chat room. Leave the dress black. Yep. Take that down just a little bit. I may actually have to go in, and I do. I need to go in here and really mess with my coloring. Let me try something else. I'm almost thinking I want to do... Ooh, okay, I've got 2 schools of thought on this one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but we are going to test it. I'm going to test it. So I'm going to test out a blue color, which may or may not cooperate with me. And that takes it to more of a bluish look, which actually might work in my favor. Ooh, that actually might be okay. So we could potentially do blue. And I know, once again, I am all over the place here because I'm just trying to see the overall look for this. And then we'll take it back just a little bit around those edges and soften it up and blend it in. I will blend this in, like legitimately blend it in once I choose what color I'm doing. I just don't do a ton of work. I don't have to. I'm going to change it to something else. So we've got the blue, which is kind of cool. Let me pull that back and see how that looks. Oh, I kind of like it with the blue. That's cool. You guys like it with the blue? I'm going to take that off. I'm going to try one more thing because I was thinking either do like a blue like the sea or go with a totally different pop of color. And I was thinking Mr. Red. Check in the chat box. Trial and error. It's all good. Yep. I love it. Trial and error is awesome. I do it all the time so that I have different options. Sometimes the thing I don't think is going to work actually works out really, really well. So that's kind of cool to see that. Ooh. So here we've got very Little Mermaid vibes with the red, which is kind of cool. What are you guys feeling, blue or red? Once I figure out the color, we're going to get in and deal with shadows and lighting on this cape. And then we're going to blend that in a little bit better. Boom. Okay, it's those strings that get me. I got to fix those. It's going to drive me nuts. Let me just do a basic outline here, and then I will pull that back, and we will decide if we're going with blue or with red on this one. Ooh. Okay, guys, cast your vote. We've got red, and we've got blue. Which do you like better? Oh, that's going to be tough, isn't it? That's so cool looking. Okay, I think I have my choice. Tell me which one you like. Blue. Blue. Awesome. Okay, we're going with blue. All right, so I am just going to pause and save this real quick so that nothing happens to it. I typically save after every few layers, but I got busy talking to you guys and I forgot. I definitely don't want my computer to glitch out on me. So we kind of have that figured out at this point, and I think what I'm going to do actually is kind of, well, no, I gotta get in and fix the cape. Let me fix the cape real quick, and then I will move on to the next part that I'm going to show you. My social media is blowing up over to the side of my workspace here. I just keep seeing my phone go off. Fun times. Okay, so we're going to call this cape dark, and we're going to do the low lights, those shadows, and then we're going to get in there and we're going to do some really cool highlights on this. So right now I'm just darkening certain specific things down. That would definitely be darkened down. And don't worry, I know some of these lines are a little bit harsh. We are going to blend those in just a second. But I leave it at full opacity as I'm working just so I can kind of see where it's going. And I'm going to come back and deal with some of the other stuff too. Okay, so we are adding in those shadows where they would naturally fall. You have to remember, she's facing away from the light source, so a lot of the front of her dress is going to be very, very dark. And we're just gonna swoop it like that. Okay, so then I'm going to lower that opacity just a touch. There we go, and I'm going to do some highlights on the cape. So we are going to grab our dodge tool, and we're gonna get in here and make this really selfie-like. So we're going to add very thin, very bright lines where the light would attach to it if this were something like a silk cape or some type of satin cape. Now this is actually a velvet cape, so some of it is shiny to begin with, but we are kind of just giving it a different look. I tend to do this on certain dresses. I will make them a little bit shinier. I do this on hair a lot to make hair shiny. It's kind of cool when I'm doing different portraits and things, but we don't have hair in this image, so I can't actually show you. So we're just going to follow some of these lines. Then right there on the shoulder, that would definitely be something that was touched by the light, so that's going to be brighter. All along this edge here, we're going to be a little bit brighter. And then we're going to bring this down. There we go. And just a little bit here, up on this side. We're just going to highlight right there and right there. Awesome. And then I'm going to do one more dark layer, and that's going to be for the front of my dress because I really want to bring that down a bit. Not that tool. There we go. And we're just going to bring that down. And then we're going to pull back and lighten that just a bit. Okay. So what are we thinking? How are we feeling? Do we like this? Good so far? Okay, so the next thing I am going to be doing is adding some of my fairy tale fantasy look to this. And I am going to grab a brush that's going to allow me to do some little dust things on here. So I'm going to grab my brush. And this is my brush panel. There's all sorts of amazing brushes that I can use within here. Oh, there we go. I'm going to grab that one, and we're going to pick that color, I do believe. And opacity is up. Pick my color. There we go. And we're just going to add some of that. Almost. I'm a little reluctant because I want to add my signature fairy tale style to this. So for as cool as this is, there is something I want to do to it. But I kind of really like these colors, and I feel like it's going to look good on a book cover. So I think I almost may just leave it the way that it is. And then I can play with it later if I need to. Now this finished image is going to be up on my social media later today. So if you want to take a look at that finished image, you can see that up on my social media later today. But for now, we're going to save this, and we are going to pop this over into the book cover part of this. So as soon as that's done saving, I'm going to switch that over. Let me know how you're doing. What are we thinking? Let's talk about the name for the title, because title's coming next. We got to decide. So Connie came up with some really cool ideas. Sound off if you are here. Let me know which of those you like, or if you have another idea. Now is the time to tell me. So I have switched over to my other panel. I'm going to grab that we just created, and I'm going to pop it in here as soon as I can find it. Where did you go, image? Oh, my bad, because I didn't save it for real. I saved it as my PSD file, but I didn't save it as a flattened image yet. Huh, that would have been bad. So let me save that real quick. And we're going to move that over to, oops, not the right panel, Katie. We're going to move that over to our cover, which I have lost. Good job. We're going to pull up the correct one. And now I can add it. There we go. Okay, so this is my image. This is my book cover template. Now we have to size it appropriately and deal with all of the loveliness that comes with it, because I put my person right in the, not the side, so it's more toward the center. So we're actually going to have to extend our background and do some other really cool things. So because we want our girl over here, I think I'm actually going to flip the entire image. And then we are going to do a little bit of resizing. Boom. Okay. So let me show you. Let me just do this to help you see. Kind of, we're going to call it our little visual here. I'm going to put a rectangle over this. There, so that takes it away. And this is what the cover is going to look like. So we can kind of change and move things around if we need to. How we want things to fit within this. And then we can even, I might just do this. And kind of, yeah, that doesn't look bad. All right, so let me leave it at that. And then I'm going to have to fill in that white space. So we're going to extend our background. We're going to change some stuff up. And we're going to do some really cool stuff to deal with that. So let's see. That actually looks pretty good. I'm going to combine this. So this is a, actually, I'm going to duplicate that because I don't trust myself. And then I'm going to flatten that so that I can merge it together. And we see how this line is running through the bottom of my image here. I'm actually going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to get rid of this line. Oops, oh, it glitched. Sorry, hang tight. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We're going to use a different tool because it's going to play nicer with me. And I'm actually going to zoom in to touch so I can see that a little bit better. It's very clearly wants to copy my models. Let me select a different area and raise up my opacity here. So as I'm doing this, I want to blend this in, but I do not want it to look like it's cloned. So I take samples from different areas and I bring it down in different places so that it kind of goes together, but does not look like I, space for space, stole part of this picture to cover up another part of the picture. So we are just blending that all together. And as you can see, I am creating new sand. You can't even tell where it was and wasn't. So we've got that. Let me pull that back. We just made that. And then, of course, I'm going to go in and I'm going to darken that down, but not until I do this next step, which is extending it to the other side. So how are we doing? Are we picking good names for our book? Tell me what we've got. So at this point, I'm going to just drag this over here. And we're going to connect that. Okay. So I added that over to the side. I'm going to pause and take a look at my chat box. Let me know what we're thinking as far as titles go. I'm going to combine layers here. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. And I am going to fix these lines because it very clearly looks like I've merged it together. So at this point, I'm going to take samples of the sand and I'm going to bring that in here and I'm going to go in and darken that later. I do not need this line here. That is not something that I need. That can go away. And we've got this light spot right here. That's going to go away in a minute too. We're going to change the clouds a little bit. We do not want it to look like we funneled it into the same thing. So I'm taking my my spot healing brush, and I'm tweaking that just a little bit, but then I'm going to go in and I'm going to legitimately mess with it. I have to apologize. I am definitely losing my voice. And so I have to keep pausing to get some water because it's killing me over here. Okay, let me zoom in and handle this. So same deal, we're going to play with that water, but it's coming from different places, so you can't really tell what is what. I'm actually going to lower my blend there. There we go. All right. That I can deal with momentarily. We're going to play with the clouds a little bit. Now, as you can see, I've got the streaming light on the left side of my screen there, and it's going in the wrong direction because the sun is over on the right side of my screen, so that's something I'm going to handle in a minute. And we're going to take that in there and really mess with that. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Raise up my opacity and really play with those clouds in there. There we go. And I might take a little bit of this and just play with it in here. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to pull back. And at this point, I now need to handle my stream. So to do that, I could take the time to legitimately do it, or I could do it the easy book cover way, which is going to be awesome and save me time. And you won't actually notice it because there's going to be a book right up over that part. So we're going to darken this down. We're really going to bring in that darkness over on this side because this is the back cover of the book. So it is going to be very different than the front cover of the book, even though it's still a same part of the same picture. So at this point in time, my computer is rejecting me and telling me I need to give it a break. But that's okay. We're going to keep going. It's just a tiny bit slow. You get the idea. I'm going to bring in some dark colors over here. And maybe I am. Grab a new layer here. I'm going to grab the darkness. And I'm going to switch back from the other way I had done that. There we go. So I am just going to really pull this corner down here. And it's not going to stay dark like that. It is going to kind of blend in. Then we're going to change that just a touch. And we're going to mess with our lighting here. There we go. This is starting to look better. Oh, that's good. Yep. Okay, so then I just need to worry about my lighting. And we're going to grab, let's see, grab some of this and bring this in here. And we're just going to change that up a little bit. There we go. We're going to eliminate that. That works nice. Yep. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to pause here. I'm actually going to save this, and I'm going to check the chat box and see how we're doing for our titles. So let me just see what we've got going on. We have options for titles. It looks like we've got A Conjuring of C. It looks like we've got Of C and Shambles. I'm kind of feeling Of C and Shambles. Anybody else feeling it? I think that's the one we're going to run with. I like that idea. Okay, so let me find my screen again. We are going to work on that. Somebody give me a tagline. I need a tagline for this baby. I am going to add our title in here, and then we are going to play with our fonts, because fonts are fun. And actually, I can kind of see where I'm going with this already. Yep. All right. Let me duplicate that, because I like that. And we're going to take a look at some font options. Now, if I were actually doing this, I would be doing some custom font stuff with this that I totally love. That wasn't what I was going for, but that's kind of an interesting look for it. Yeah, I would be doing some totally cool custom font stuff for this. Let me see. That's kind of very scripty. That's definitely a little bit hard to read. I probably wouldn't go with that one. Let's see. Fonts are hard. Fonts are very hard. That's not what I want. I'm definitely focused on my fonts right now and not actually telling you what's happening. So I'm going through these fonts. I'm looking for one that kind of stands out to go with the theme of this. I need a tagline for this. So if you've got one, give me a tagline. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. What do you guys think? We're going to have to change a little bit of this, but that we don't like. We're going to duplicate that. Take that one. Then we're going to take the other part here. There we go. And this one I actually liked that and sign. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, I don't actually like that so much. See, and Shambles. Maybe I don't like that. Let's see. Oops, not that one. Font for me is always the most annoying part because you have to like really make it fit and then you have to change things, and I do know what I'm doing with this. That's a good thought. Let me try that. Nope, 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 not where I just put my mouse. Thank you. Okay, close enough. We're just going to pop that there. I'm going to put that in that. So at this point, I am merging that as one layer, so that's not going anywhere on me. And then I am going to actually highlight all of my letters here. And I actually have to get in a little bit closer to see this. Ooh, very close, apparently, closer than I thought. And I'm just highlighting all of these. And I'm going to add a layer. And let me pull back just a touch. There we go. So let me see. I'm going to choose a different color. And I think it's going to be like a bluish color. Like a light sea foamy blue. And I am going to opacity. No, raise my opacity up, please. Thank you. Nope. Go back. Okay, so I have to do certain letters at a time because it doesn't want to play nice. So let me grab those two. And I will bounce back up there and play with my coloring. That was a little bit too much. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of giving it this ombre effect here. And, ooh, that was so not what I actually meant to do. Oh, well. I just did it on the wrong layer, but that is okay. I'm going to be changing that. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. I just got a message from somebody on Facebook that I will need to address when I am done. We're going to do the and part next, and we are going to ombre that. Oh, that's cool. Then I'm going to go back to Shambles, and we are going to highlight that. And, oh, that's cool, but not what I meant to do. And then I missed a couple of letters, so I need to take care of that. I'm going to highlight the A and the M. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer again. Highlight the A and the M and the E and the S. Go back up to my other layer, and I am going to add too much blue, apparently. Go down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let me pull back and see how this looks. Oh, that looks kind of cool. What do you guys think? Tell me in the chat box. Yes. We are loving the ombre effect. Fantastic. I totally love that. I totally love that. Okay, so now I need a tagline. Do you guys have a tagline for me? We're going with that whole siren coming from the sea thing. I think I got to play up some of my fog a little bit more, I'm thinking. While you guys are giving me a tagline, I'm going to play with my fog just a touch. So let me know, what do we think we need to be dealing with here for taglines? Oops, what's happening? What is happening? Am I on the wrong brush? I'm on the right brush. Am I too far down? What's happening? On occasion, something glitches. I believe something is glitching for me. Okay, alright, I hear you. Let's try it again. What is happening? Dear brush. What's happening? Really? Are you really going to be like this? I'm going to save this so nothing happens. Like I said, on occasion, Photoshop does not want to play nice. So we are going to add yet another new layer. Call this Fog 3. And we're just going to see what is happening. We are not friends right now, Photoshop. We are not. Are you kidding me? Well, fine. Be like that. Sometimes it gets a little weird. I'm going to check the chat box. My brain is whirring. Cogs are pretty rusty today. Connie is thinking too. Cool. I don't have to come up with these things. It's kind of fun when it's not my job. So we're going to call our author Fake Author. That's pretty cool, right? And we will put that there. And I will do the ombre effect for that too, because that's kind of cool. But for now, I'm just going to leave it be because we are definitely at over an hour, and I was going to try to keep it around an hour, and I have failed you greatly. So we're just going to cut a few corners, and then I'll finish this up afterwards. I am going to do a fake write-up over here while you guys are coming up with our amazing tagline for this. So let me see. Let's just pick, this is a font. Words. If I were smart, I would have done that before. Because I can't type either. Siren and sea stuff. Wow, I can't even spell it all today. Sorry, there we go. Okay, so those are just some weird words we tossed on there. At some point, we will come up with an actual thing about this story. If I had known in advance, totally would have come up with something cool. But before we put this fake one up online, we will make it sound kind of interesting. And then one of us is going to have to turn around and write this story. So let's see. We've got be careful what lurks in the depths. Be careful of what lurks in the depths. It will draw you in. When the siren calls, who knows who will follow? Oh, okay. Okay. What are we thinking, guys? We've got a couple of options there. What do you think is going to fit? What do you think is going to look cool? Let me know. You know which one we're going to add there. Sorry, I told you I got to grab a lot of water here. Kind of dying. Let's see. All right. Let me see. I don't know. I don't want to pick. I don't know which one to pick. I don't want to pick. Somebody tell me which one to pick. Tell me which one to pick. It'll be awesome. Let's do freedoms. Okay, Connie, thank you. Okay, so we are adding this up here. We're going to type. We're going to type this in. When the siren calls, who knows who will follow. And we're going to put that right there. And I think that needs to be a dark font. Oh my gosh, you guys. 2, 3. Look at that. Dude, how cool is this? So at this point, now we're going to add in some stuff over on the side. So we've got our title here. I'm going to duplicate that, move that over here, and I'm going to rotate this, transform clockwise 90 degrees, and then we're going to make it smaller because we have to fit this right in here. And where do we want to put this? That might be cool. And then I would definitely darken it down behind it. So let me add a spine darken layer. And we are going to darken that down just where it is on the spine so that it's easier to see. I'm going to blend that in just a touch. Boom, look at that. Snap, y'all. That's so cool. That is so cool. So then I need my fake author's name. And we're going to turn that clockwise as well. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Oh, I didn't ombre that. I will have to ombre that before we finish. We're actually going to put her name up here. His or her name. We're all girls here, so I'm just calling it. And actually I need to bring this up above that darkening layer so that I can darken that down as well. There we go. And then we would put the logo of whatever company it is down below. Let me just, that's not something I wanted to do. Let me just put that here, and we're going to make up a super fake sad little logo over here. So let's just call it a flowery type thing. That's weird. That's weird, but you know what? It's okay. It's totally okay. I'm going to step back. There we go. And I'm going to make it smaller. And now we've got a little flower. We're drawing a little flower. And there we go. There we go. That's our company. It's some kind of flowery book company. I really don't know. And so that would be our logo here. I might even do something like this to add just a little bit. Oh, well, that worked out nicely, didn't it? Whoops. I could always do something like that just to take up a little bit of space if I needed to. I don't know if I actually would, but we're just going to kind of leave it there for the moment, and I'll play with that again later. So let me duplicate my tagline there. When the siren calls, I'm going to move it over here. And usually you don't replicate that tagline, but we are going to just to take up space so we can kind of show you what we would be doing here. There we go. And so then at this point, we would add a quote from a fabulous author on why this book totally rocks, not only because of the cover, and we would have that there from some awesome author who gave us a quote about our book. We would pop that baby there, and that actually would be more like that. And then we'll credit this awesome author. And then we would be adding some social media stuff. So up at the top, I was telling you which layer I was going to. At this point, we've got, no, wrong one. Sorry, my bad. Those buttons look a lot alike, and sometimes I grab the wrong one. So if this is the point, we would be adding our barcode. So that would be where our barcode kind of goes. That is not the right sizing for that. And I will tell you, different printers have different ISBN regulations that you have to go with. So you just kind of have to put it where they tell you to put it. I would put social media here. So social media. Let's just pretend we've got all of our social medias in here. If you actually look at my book, I have my social media for all social media things listed there. I would also grab, and I did this on my book cover because I got to design my own, that would be my QR code right there. We're going to make that white. There we go. So there we go. We've got our book cover. Obviously, when we're done, I'm going to go back in and make the words a little less weird. That was kind of weird and fake and strange. I'm also going to do the ombre effect on the author's name. But what do you guys think? Tell me. What are we thinking here? Don't like the dots. Yep. I would actually, Connie, probably instead of taking the title just like it is, for the actual image I'm going to put out on social media to show what we did today, I'm actually going to take it apart and have it go the entire length of the spine. So it's not going to be of C and then drop down to another line and then another line for the other words. So it would be something that goes across the entire length of the spine. I'm just not taking up time because we are a little bit over on our time. So tell me, do we like it? Are we feeling it? Does it totally rock? What layer is that? Not that one. Somewhere along the lines. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I'm just not taking the time to do it because I'm not. That's just the way it goes today. But I will be fixing it later before we put that online. So, do we like it? Are we feeling it? Who wants to write this story? We should put it together and do like an anthology. We'll all have little stories in it. What do you think? It rocks. You want to read this book. Listen, I want to read this book too. It's pretty cool, right? I would actually go in. I'm going to later on, because I'm not taking up your time right now, but I'm going to go in. I'm going to play with the light a bit. I'm going to change some things up. I'm going to work on those words. I'm going to change the title a little bit. But overall, this is what we are talking about. So tell me in the chat box, do you love it? Do you want to see more of this? Do you want to see a different version of this? Do you want to see a cover that we are designing? Hi, I'm back on screen. Tell me what you want to see more of, because I am happy to do more of these. It's kind of fun. The fine arts version of this image will probably be on my social media later today, assuming that things don't get crazy on my end. But I'll put that up for you to see. I'm also going to put up the fake book cover, both in this format so they can see the front and the back, but also in book covers. So I'm going to take it and make it look like it's a hardcover book. It's going to be awesome. Connie wants to do it again. Freedom says, I'm so into this world, LOL. Me too, right? Make a different font for the tagline. Oh, Connie doesn't like the font. Yep, I'm going to play with stuff. I'm going to tweak it a little bit because I didn't want to waste a lot of time. And like I said, if I were doing this for real, for an actual client, I would be in there doing some stuff to this font. I would be changing things. Things would be a lot different. But because this is just kind of a for fun thing and I'm not actually being paid for this, we're just running with what it is. Okay, so I am about to sign off. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Drop in the chat box what you want to see more of. Do you want a fairy tale? Do you want a fairy? Do you want some kind of evil villain? Do you want some kind of ensnared, entrapped thing where I've got a girl halfway in the dirt, tangled up in roots so that her top half is above ground and her lower half, her legs are ensnared in vines and things? What else? What else do you want? Corner art. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm seeing what you're saying. Hold on, let me put this back up for you a second, Connie. Here we go. Almost there. Closer. Leave it like this, but to take it and do something like this. So we would have a new layer. Let me grab my brush for this. Where am I looking? Hang on, I'm looking for it. I know I have it here. It's here somewhere. Wait, what was that? That was not it. I have brushes for everything. It's ridiculous. And they don't have them named. They just have them strangely numbered, but they're not even in order. So you actually have to look through and find what you're looking for, which is a royal pain. There we go. Okay, now we're talking. Okay. Boom. So at that point, I would probably take that color and just kind of do something like that, except it would, it would actually have to fit. I would have to change it a little bit because I can't change the angle of the brush. I would have to do it individually and then kind of rotate it, which is what I was looking to do, but it's not cooperating with me. But some kind of, well, that's kind of neat looking. Yeah, I would definitely have to rotate a lot of this, but something along these lines so that it's got stuff where you can see it. That'd be kind of cool. I might play with that when we're done. In fact, I'm going to save that layer so that I can mess with that. Okay. I like where it's going. Yep. The root idea, right? That sounds really cool, doesn't it? Have you seen that image, Connie? Because ever. In fact, I will go on and tag you on my social media after because I have it up and it looks so cool. All right. Well, I'm signing off. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. If you would like to see more of these, please let me know. And let me know what you want to see more of. If you see any of my photo shoots and you're like, I love that particular concept or I love that image, can we do something with something like this? Let me know. Happy to do it. If you guys have ideas for something you want done, tell me. I do photo shoots all the time. I can shoot things whenever. It's kind of awesome. And we will do this again soon because this was a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to next time schedule it for about an hour and a half because we did run over a little bit, so that's good to know. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you loved about this. If you are absolutely lovely and you love me, I would love a quote from you on how much fun this was or how cool this was or something like that that I can use on social media to promote the next time I do this for fun because that's what we do around here. It's kind of interesting. I hope you've all liked this. Thank you for joining me. If you were watching the rebroadcast of this later, jump down in the comments and let me know what you thought because you were not hanging out with us live. And make sure you follow me on social media. I'm going to give you a couple different places you can find me. So you can find me as an author at k.m.robinson books on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. You can also find me at Reading Transforms on Facebook and Instagram. And on Twitter, it's at READNGTRANSFORM. Because they wouldn't let me have all my letters. So you can find me. It's Reading Transforms, but it's missing some letters on Twitter. You can go to www.readingtransforms.com where you have access to all of my online communities, my online courses, my articles, my resources, my tutorials, my videos, and the amazing projects that we're working on over at Reading Transforms. You can also jump into my community if you're an author. We're talking about how to beat the social media algorithms to get your content seen on social media. We're talking about marketing your books, branding out their brand, engaging your fans, and empowering them and equipping them to get out there and market your books for you in a better, more effective way. And you can also find me at k.m. Robinson Books, which is all of my author stuff. And then if you love my fine arts imagery, I am k.m.robinsonphotography.com, at k.m. Robinson Photography on Facebook, and at k.m. Robinson Photo on Twitter, and at k_m_Robinson_photography on Instagram, because back then I didn't know enough to keep all my screen names the same. It was a little difficult and I have a lot of letters. So come find me, hang out with me, check out the imagery, and let me know what you are thinking. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm k.m. Robinson, author of Golden and creator of Reading Transforms and k.m. Robinson Photography, and I cannot wait to see you again for more of this book designing, live, on the air, group participation, fun times. Thanks so much. You guys stay inspired and have a great day. Bye-bye.